about value? Because value is probably one of the most important notions in this exercise. Well, first of all, value is created by you. It is evaluated and realized by the customer. Value is exchanged between you and the customer, and value, unlike what most people think, is a quantitative notion. And most importantly, for our session today, it is not your customer's job to quantify it. And here's what we mean by that. Unlike what most people think, value is a quantitative notion, and it is defined as a difference between a customer's willingness to pay and their opportunity cost for the next best competitive alternative. So as you can see, a value proposition actually must include all the aspects of your offering. If no value is created if nobody is willing to pay for it. And to increase the value that you created, you have to increase the willingness to pay. To increase value, you also have to increase the perceived differentiation. What we mean by that is that the value that you have created depends on what your offering does better or differently than the next best competitive alternative. It is really important to communicate the outcomes of the benefits that you're claiming in order to drive willingness to pay in relation to all the other offerings in the marketplace. The chances that the customers will make a purchase will increase. At least getting the customers make their first ever purchase is going to be easier if they can visualize and understand the outcomes. So in that sense, your value proposition should include how the product might be experienced, what happens when benefits are realized, and how you're doing it better. Here is an example from chia seeds. In the guidebook, you can click on these images and see the full value proposition messaging in detail. In this first product example, the first brand, we have the regular chia seeds, and the only messaging on the front of the packaging is superfood of the Aztecs. I don't know about your Aztec history knowledge, but I actually don't quite know what benefits and outcomes I would receive if I eat the superfood of Aztecs. And the second example, there are numerous claims and numerous pieces of information. Basically, the gist of it is that organic chia seeds are a source of dietary fiber, omega, and fatty acids and calcium. This brand is assuming that I know the benefits of those ingredients. And it's not necessarily taking me to the next level of understanding and knowing the benefits. It's just talking about the ingredients. On the third one, the whole grain chia seeds, it talks about it helps with weight control, mobility, and 3 out of the 5 claims are outcome focused. So I can take the ingredients information to the next stage of knowing the benefits of those chia seeds. And on the final one, actually, which we found to be the most successful out of these 4 options, it talks about how you can use it. It helps me visualize using chia seeds with my drinks and salads and soups and baked goods, and it thickens soups and helps with digestion. So I can understand how I can use it. I can visualize how I can use it in what sorts of foods. And I also understand that it helps with digestion, and I can picture the outcomes and benefits all together. So this is really important when you're thinking about your messaging and your differentiation. It is quite difficult to talk this kind of messaging in food. In other types of organizations and businesses, you can very easily talk about outcomes and benefits. And in food, historically, we've been focusing on the ingredients and the power of ingredients and difference in the ingredients. But increasingly, as you can focus your messaging on the benefits and outcomes in a way that consumers can understand, it can help you differentiate your value proposition. So in your granola example, your value proposition must include, first, the experience, the occasion of consuming the granola bar, or a call to action. How can you trigger the customer to envision themselves consuming this product? The experience part is really important. What are the outcomes? Is it more filling? Is it more healthy? If so, why? Is it more of something? Is it less of something? And make sure that you have these you do this kind of messaging in everyday language. And finally, the differentiation. Why does the granola taste better? Is there a specific ingredient? Is it the crunchiness? Is it a new flavor or a technique? Is it free of allergens? What is it, right? So it's really important to articulate the experience, the outcomes, and the differentiation all at once. Since you also mentioned the price point, let me also touch on that. Being able to sell your granola bar at the farmer's market doesn't translate necessarily well into pricing for cup food. The purchase context is entirely different, particularly the presence of other alternatives during the purchase decision. At the farmer's market, you're basically making a choice for immediate consumption, and you may be choosing between the flavors of the same brand. However, in cup food, you might be purchasing granola bars as an afternoon snack to consume, or as a lunch item for your children, or maybe comparing your options among 30 different brands, right? So each pricing window for each of your offerings will depend on the purchase context, and it would be a mistake to assume validation you got in one channel directly transferred to the other channel, because it doesn't.